I analyzed 10,000 viral videos this year. And what I found was every single one of them has these 5 elements. You miss one, your video dies. You get all 5 right, and you turn your social media into a money-making machine, which means the algorithm has no choice but to push your video to your ideal clients. Let's get it. My name is Jaden. I've been able to grow my brand to over 250,000 followers on Instagram, 120,000 followers on TikTok, and just over 5,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And every single last one of those platforms are directly involved in the success of my business. My personal brand builds my business, period. I've gotten millions of views across every single last one of my accounts, and all of my clients have made millions of dollars from this stuff I'm about to tell you. Why? Because this isn't guesswork. It is quite literally the formula. And here's the crazy thing. I'm not going to talk about the classic virality that you usually hear of, where people only talk about getting millions of views. I'm going to talk about the other side of it. I'm going to talk about niche-wide virality. This is where everybody in your niche knows you for being one of the leaders in that niche, aka this. If you want to be one of the go-to people, the #1 person in your space, when people think about you, when people think about your niche, when people think about your industry, you are one of the first people they think of, then I highly recommend you keep watching this, because guess what? In 2025, there's only going to be one main way to make that happen, moving into 2026 as well, and that is going to be capturing attention. So please listen. Element #1 is your title hook. This is going to serve as your pattern interrupt, aka they've seen 5 Mr. Beast videos, they've seen 5 cat videos, 5 videos of people dancing, so you need to interrupt the pattern of what content they've just seen back to back, and one of the best ways to do that is by your title hook. See, when it comes to short form content specifically, your title hook, aka your headline, aka the big text that you put at the beginning of your video on screen, is highly important. I cannot stress this enough. And I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to give you data. So here's the data piece first. I don't know if you know this or not, but over 70% of people watching content online, aka Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever it is, over 70% of people watching short form content watch with the sound off. They watch with the sound off, which means this. You could have an amazing video where you talk about the cure to cancer, but if they're watching with the sound off, they will never be able to grasp the value that you have to give. And the thing about social media, aka interest media, is this. It's a value exchange. You give your value and they give you value back with their attention, their time, their energy, and eventually their dollars. And you can do that by simply adding and or changing your title hook. Now, let me give you a real life example. So what I did was I posted the exact same video 3 times in a row, back to back, all within the same time frame. The exact same video, my friends. One thing changed, and that one thing was the title hook. And obviously I did it for data and I did it for analytics. So let me actually show you what happened. So I actually did this over on TikTok. The reason I did it over on TikTok is because I know for a fact TikTok doesn't penalize you for posting back to back to back to back to back. Meanwhile, some platforms like Instagram may consider it spam activity. Anyways, I posted the exact same video back to back. Here's the numbers. Again, the only thing that changed was the title hook. The first video did 634 views. I know you're probably like, Jaden, those views are extremely low for you. I know my TikTok is cooked. I rarely post on it. Instagram is kind of my main platform. I digress. The second video that I posted did 1,387 views. And the last video that I posted did 553 views. The exact same video posted 3 consecutive times back to back to back, and the only thing that changed was the title hook, aka the headline. Let me actually break down what those words were. So the first post that did 600 views, the title hook was "Steal This Content Idea Part 1. The one that quite literally did double that said "Steal This Viral Content Idea." And the last one that only got 500 views, which is the least amount of views, said "Content Ideas for You to Steal." Now, the one that did double, here's why. I had 2 power words in it. Power words, aka trigger words, when it comes to your title hook, are words where when somebody reads it, it stops them in their track because they have to figure out what entails within that word. So the one that says "Steal This Viral Content Idea," steal and viral are the 2 power words. And what I did was I doubled up, and I even made the word viral in all caps. That way it stops somebody in their tracks and it makes them need to watch the video. Your title hook is extremely important. Please do not overlook it, because that is element 1. Element #2 is the visual eye catcher. See, again, humans are visual creatures. So within the first frame, please, for the love of God, let me actually get close to you for this. The first frame of your video is highly important, okay? You only have really a split second for people to see your video and understand, yo, I'm going to watch this or I'm not going to watch this. So please take advantage of that. Cool. now that that's out the way, now that the seriousness is out of the way, I want to talk about visual eye catchers. Now, you can do this in so many different ways, but I just need you to have one of them. Option number one is a in-person physical object that people can keep their eye on. Because as a founder, as entrepreneurs, most of the time what we are saying is boring. Most of the time, the people that we want to reach, they don't truly care about the nitty-gritty details about what we have to say. That's fun for us because we're geeks about it. We are authorities in that realm, but really people online, they don't care. And so we need to be able to take what boring stuff we're saying and have an entertaining element to it. For example, you ever watch somebody's video online and what they're saying is boring, but they hold this small little microphone as they speak, and really your eye is tracking the microphone rather than listening to what they are saying. That's a visual eye catcher. For example, podcast style microphones. These types of microphones are really just placeholders for attention. When you see somebody with a podcast style microphone, it automatically makes you think that they have something important to say. That's a physical object, right? Another physical object could be a whiteboard. You ever see people write on whiteboards what they're saying? That is a physical object that plays as an entertaining element. Oh my God, I'm cooking. Anyways, so I absolutely love this stuff. I really want you to think about what physical objects you can bring in. If you are a dentist, right, and you are talking about your dental hygiene routine every single day, why not showcase these items and have them in person, bring them in frame, use them rather than you just pulling out your phone and just yapping about them? You picking up on what I'm putting down? Having physical objects is very important because any and everybody can do the second object, which is just some sort of digital representation. So here are 3 of my videos where I have digital representation in each and every one of them, and all of them are different. This one right here is more so of a clip art, right? In this video, I'll talk about why your content doesn't work. And so I attached a meme photo to a screenshot of a video with low views. Now people automatically understand, okay, sad, low views, this video has to be about the complete opposite. This video is more so a reaction video, okay? So the video that I'm reacting to is my digital visual element. And this video, one of the visual elements is literally just a red arrow. What you do in the first 0.5 seconds of your video is extremely, extremely important. Element number 3 is your familiarity bridge. Here's the thing about posting online as a founder and as an online entrepreneur, okay? And I really need you all to understand this. People don't care about you. They don't care about your story. Honestly, they don't know you. And so in a world where people like things that feel familiar to them, you creating content sounding like a guru is not familiar to them. And so it is very quick for them to scroll away from you because they do not know you. And so what we need to adapt is the law of familiarity. Here's what that means. Within your video, within the first 5 seconds of your video, you need to have an element of familiarity. What things are familiar to them? This can be logos. This can be people, celebrities, brands, things that your audience are familiar with and interact with on a day-to-day basis. Think about it like this. I will literally give you this example, okay? Let's say I'm a fitness coach. I have an online fitness program and my specialty is dieting. Cool. I can be in my kitchen and have a video that performs very, very well by just saying, hey, you can actually be on a diet if you eat this specific meal from McDonald's. That's cool. I can speak about it and it will probably perform well. But imagine if I did that video in a McDonald's drive-thru. Imagine if I did that video in front of the McDonald's building. That's something that people are familiar with. And so that is going to be another eye catcher. That's something familiar that they are dealing with. Imagine if you are a couples therapist, right? And you create content online to help couples obviously be better couples. Well, let's say there's a celebrity couple issue that's going mayhem right now, right? Let's say there's a really big celebrity, a really big athlete that people already know and trust that's going through some really bad marital things. Well, why don't you use them as the example? Because if you can associate with something that people already know, like, and trust, then they will easily know and trust you that much more. Element number 4 is the open loop. Now, there are so many types of open loops when it comes to social media, but let me first describe what an open loop is. See, when you create content, the worst thing you could ever do is give them all the information within the first half of the video. Because if I have a 10-minute video and people only watch the first 2 minutes, then that is going to signal to the social media algorithms and platforms like Instagram, like YouTube, like TikTok, that my video isn't worth watching all the way through. Now, here's the thing about that. We can still give the information. We just have to be able to prolong it. We just have to be able to become better storytellers and be able to take somebody from a click in the first 1 second of our video to watching all the way to the end. And one of the best ways you can do that is by having open loops. People watch your video for so many reasons, right? But one of the biggest ones is mini problems, micro problems that get solved over and over and over again. It's really just a psychological trigger that becomes an addiction. Let me give you this quick example, okay? I absolutely love what I do. I'm a geek about this stuff. You can tell this by watching my long form content. And what happens is I end up wanting to give so much information so quickly, but that ends up hurting the video. Not only that, it ends up hurting the viewer as well because I gave them too much information in a short amount of time. So what needs to happen is we need to actually dial back and prolong it by taking these big problems that we want to solve in a short amount of time and making them micro problems that we solve one and one and one throughout my video. For example, I actually just did an open loop right now. I call it the but so open loop, which means I say something and before I end that statement fully, I say but. That way it triggers in your mind that there is more to happen. Then I say my but line. Now that is an open loop. So I want to close that loop quickly. So I say so and I give a very small example or explanation. But then I need to go to my next point and my next point starts again. But I need to be able to close that loop. So I say but so and over and over and over again. The but so loop is one of my favorite open loops to do within your videos because it keeps people on the edge of their seat. And if you keep them on the edge of their seat, they will continue to watch over and over and over again. And next thing you know, they've watched a 60-second video of you giving some pure value. Now, this last element is something that I see so many online entrepreneurs overlook, and it is one of the single-handed reasons why people watch your video and never come back to watch another video, and that is your call to action. The way that you end your video should be more rememberable than the way that you start your video because it's at the end. People remember the last words you said before they remember the first words that you said. So you need to have a strong call to action. I'm not just talking about those videos where people say, hey, comment down below this word for this or DM me the word this. Yes, those are cool. But what action are you telling your audience to take? For example, I've given you so many call to actions in this one video by saying things like, go implement this, go try this, do this, not this. Those are actions that I'm calling you to take. So having a stronger call to action within your video will allow your audience to not only take action, but when they take action and that thing works, next time they see you, the first thing they think of is, wait, last time she said this and I did it and it worked. So this time if she says to do something else, it's probably going to work. And so now you consistently have this loop of greatness and you build up this goodwill within your audience, all because you gave a stronger call to action. Those, my friends, are the 5 elements that happened in over 90% of those 10,000 viral videos that I studied based off of founders. I really pray that this video gave you some value. I pray that you go and take action from this stuff. I pray that it transforms your brand and your business for the better. And if you want to work with me and my team, because I literally do this every day, then just check out the link in the description. If not, I want you to continue to get more value from these videos. And I will see you, my friends, in the next one. Peace out. Thank me later.